All right, should be live, apparently. Let's have a look. All right, let's see. Oh, that's a really bad thumbnail. Jesus. Jeez, that's a terrible thumbnail. I wonder if I can change that. Cool, we'll get started in a few minutes. I can't even tell if this is working, but we'll get started in a few minutes, assuming it's all good. If you can hear me, let me know in the comments, and I'll get started as soon as everything looks good. Okay. Hear you, bro. Perfect. There's like a 10-second delay between me talking and messages. That's fine. Cool. So today I want to talk about any topic related to money. We can talk about business, we can talk about mindset, crypto, anything investing, stocks, literally anything to do with like money, mindset in general. We can talk about other topics if guys have off-topic questions, but that's like the theme of today's live stream. I'm just bored and the markets are boring and shit and there's like not much to do. So I would like to talk about these topics and I figured I can give you guys some value. I don't know how long you guys have been following me for. Let me know in the comments how long you've been following me for so I know how much to preface about myself before we get started as like an introduction. Have you guys been following me for a month, multiple years? I'm sure there's a couple OGs in the chat that have been following me since like 2021. So let me know. I'm curious to see. I think I've had a few new followers lately. So we'll see who is new and who is not. But yeah, I want to go over crypto, business, mindset if people want to talk about that. I'm also going to talk about a few coins that I've found which are going to launch soon, which I think you guys should be keeping an eye on. And as always, if you guys want to follow my moves in the market exactly, you can join my mastermind. You can find it in the Telegram group, I'm sure that you or my in my YouTube channel. If you go to any of the videos, I'm sure I link it there. But I want to tell you in this video some of the coins as well that I'm interested in. Okay, let's see. 6 months, few weeks. Okay, so there's some new people here. 5 months, 2023. Cool, sounds good. And yeah, as well, guys, if you have any questions at all that you want me to answer, put it in the chat because I can see, and you guys can probably see as well, the questions that you guys are asking. I can answer anything. I basically just want to answer whatever questions that you guys have. And then also tell you about some coins at some point that I'm interested in. We'll get into that probably a bit later. But yeah, the market looks really shit. Like it's getting close to like peak fear, I would say. I've seen some people capitulating on some of their meme coin positions who were once really, really bullish, committed holders talking about these coins all day. And they're just now selling their positions, trying to buy lower. And when you see this, when you see the strongest, what you thought were the strongest holders of a coin finally starting to capitulate, you're running out of people to sell, right? Think about the person who would be least likely to sell. If they start selling, there's basically no sellers left because who is going to sell after the guy who was least likely to? There's like no one left. And that's what I'm starting to see in the meme coin market. Just a lot of people, not a lot of people, a few people who are really, really fucking committed to a couple coins selling. And doesn't matter if they were selling to buy lower or just selling to get out, they still sold. And that's a sign of where we are in the market. It's showing that we're entering an area of value. And you know what's really funny? I was looking at the statistics for how many people were joining my mastermind in like February, March, when the market was really, really good, and how many are joining now. And it is absolutely insane to me how many people join these groups when the market's near its top. And what I should have done is I should have looked at all the people trying to join my groups and took that as like a top signal. Just like people buy the top, they also spend money impulsively on joining groups at the top. It's only after they've seen crazy social proof of all this money that people can make them that they decide to take action on the things in their life. People need to be like pushed. They can't make it. Most people can't make the decision themselves. They need to be pushed into something. They need like the impulse or someone to, show them the way. Even me with some areas of my life, I needed someone to like push me, like, do this. And if they didn't push me, I wouldn't have actually done that thing to get that progress. So it's just insane to me. Like now people are, now people are less likely to invest into themselves. They're less likely to be buying positions into memes or Bitcoin, whatever it is, when it's entering a area where, how much lower can it really go? We could get some sort of like flash crash down to this region, but this 40K region is like, there's a lot of support here. We accumulated here already for months at a time. Like, this is entering the buy regions. So, yeah. Do you guys have any questions? Let me know in the chat. I'm going to go through and answer these. Full-time on a project the devs are building, and we built a really good community. Yeah, everyone has every coin has a cult community now. It's so cringe because like 4 years ago, I would say you want to find a coin with a cult community. And it actually made sense because these coins were cults 4 years ago. But now every fucking coin is a cult, and they're not. None of these coins these days are cults. Look at Hex 4 years ago. That was a genuine, real, actual fucking cult. Okay, you cannot tell me that was not like exhibiting multiple characteristics of a cult. But your meme coin that launched a week ago that has a cult community, I guarantee you that's not a fucking cult. It's just a coin with a bunch of people trying to make money from others. They don't believe in the mission of the project. Maybe they believe that the meme can go to 100 million market cap, but they don't really truly believe in the mission behind what they're investing in. And I think that's the difference. A lot of people invest into the coin to make money, but when you invest into the mission behind the coin and what the beliefs of the coin are, and like the transformation of your life that you believe that is going to happen, that's when it heads into cult coin territory. But a lot of these people are like, oh, it's a cult community, I'm going to sell it at 100 million market cap. Being in a cult coin and having any inclination of selling do not go together. Cult coins work because most people do not even consider selling, or they only consider it at like a $1 trillion market cap. Like think about Hex, and he'd run these like 1 hour live streams, and he would basically just famous everyone that Hex, the price could go to infinity, blah, blah, blah. Next minute, Hex is down like 99%, but everyone believed him. Like, oh my God, Hex could truly, this is what he said once. He was like, Hex could be worth like $1 million a coin in the future. He genuinely said this as if market cap does not matter, and people believed him. And they put fucking their entire net worth into these coins. That is what a cult coin is. But all these people online are like, yeah, my new meme coin, fucking Monk coin, is a cult. No, it's not. You don't know what a cult is. You've never been in one. And I've actually been in an actual real cult. So I actually know what cults look like because I've genuinely been in one. Okay? So there's a big difference. And I think that's important for you guys as meme investors to understand. If you just convince yourself that the most basic coin community is a cult, you're going to get yourself rugged, because I guarantee you it's not. Okay, let me go through these questions. Okay. Someone asked me about where would I put my money after I put it in crypto? Like, would I put it into developing countries? That sort of thing. Okay, so my perspective on the world is that I want to bet on societies that are filled with winners. And when I think about which country around in the world is winning the most in the game of money, it's got to be America. A lot of people go to invest into developing countries because they see like, innovations increasing and like the population's heading out of, like for example, people talk about investing into India because India is like this booming economy. But I personally don't see it, because if you look at the general moneyness skill of Americans versus the general moneyness skill of Indians, and also the outlier Indians and the outlier Americans, I think the Americans just in general have a society built much better for maximizing money. Now, if I was looking to invest in whoever is the best at relaxing on a beach, I'd pick someone from Spain. right? Spain are the best at like relaxing on the beach with their titties out, right? That's their skill. America's skill is making money, everything to do with money. And so when I think about like where would I put my money after crypto, I mean, yeah, you could try to look at these developing economies, but the reason they're developing and not developed is because of how they have existed as a society over the past hundreds of years. You know, if why are they developing? It's like betting on a 60-year-old homeless man to get rich. Why is he homeless at 60? Why is this country developing still? It's been hundreds of years. Why are they not a developed country? Maybe eventually they will, things change, but it's like, why bet on the old man that's still poor and homeless when you can bet on someone who's clearly shown they're going to be a winner at 20 years of age? So that's sort of like my mindset. So I would rather invest into the countries and the sectors that have proven that they're going to be the winners from a money perspective. And so which companies are going to do the best? Which sectors? America. Probably just the stock market is where I'm going to be looking to allocate. You can say stocks are overvalued, but the currency is completely devalued every year, even the US dollar. So there's no such thing as overvaluation because the measurement that stocks are put against is devaluing every single day. And so there is no overvaluation. Maybe there's brief periods of overvaluation, but it's always going to be overvalued because anytime it gets to a point where it's not so overvalued, they're going to put the printer on, inflation's going to increase, and then the whole debasement happens, and then the stocks will go up. So you can't really look too hard, I think, in my opinion, into the overvaluation of stocks because it doesn't exist when the denominator is getting devalued so significantly. That's just my opinion. And yeah, if you go on Twitter, everyone's shitting on Indians. It's like the trend. I don't want to be like a crazy racist, but I could have picked any country. I could have picked Africa. I mean, look at the average IQ of each country and then look at how much wealth, how developed that country is. There's a direct correlation between the average IQ and the skill of the people from a money perspective, from a development perspective of that society. So it's like Americans probably have up there with like some of the highest IQ for a country average. I would rather bet there. I'm not going to bet on Africa just because it's developing. Betting on a developing country that you think's going to pick up is sort of like buying the lagging coin. It's like, imagine all the coins are going up really fast and they're all really strong, and this is one laggard and you buy it. Like, oh yeah, it's going to catch up, and it never catches up. That's sort of the same thing. Where do I see the most opportunity in the crypto market? I want to tell you guys very shortly about a few coins that I'm interested in, but let me answer a few more questions first from you guys about crypto and anything else. And then we can get into the coins that I'm interested in. But first, why is someone having a problem with the stream? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I am going to actually fix this up quickly. All right, let's do this. Boom. That's better. Dubai tax setup, very complicated. No. Dubai, in terms of getting rid of taxes, I think a Dubai setup is one of the most simple setups that you can do. I'm only a partially set up in Dubai individual. I haven't got the full Dubai tax avoidance strategy. I'm like halfway there. I've got the banking, I've got the residency, but I don't have a Dubai tax residency. And that means that I don't have to spend tons of time in Dubai. However, I'm not a like this is not my tax residence. So I have a different tax residence. So that's the only problem there. Dubai is not my tax residency, but it is an aspect of my tax setup, basically. Is the base narrative bullshit? So something you guys need to understand about these sort of seasons and how the market works is that they go through waves, okay? Why is there this big fucking grape thing? Can I get rid of this? No. So it comes in waves. Let me draw this for you. This was the first base season. This was the next base season. And then everything is being built for the next base season to happen. And right now we're in like this period here, okay? Base launched, it went crazy for like a month, and then it died off, and then everyone forgot about Base. I bought Toshi here, and then it went crazy. I sold a lot of Toshi here, and then it's gone to shit. Now is the reaccumulation period, and now it's going to go good again. A lot of you guys don't actually comprehend how much man hours are being put into building certain things in crypto. You can't conceptualize it. And because you can't conceptualize it, you don't understand what's happening properly. If you could understand behind the scenes how many projects are being built on Base, how many individuals are working on Base, right? How much users Coinbase is generating that they're eventually going to send to Base, all the different things that Base are doing behind the scenes. If you saw it all, if you were like God and you could look at everything within like the click of a finger, understand everything, you wouldn't be asking this question of like, is Base dead? Because you would be seeing everything that's being built, but obviously you can't see that, right? You go on Twitter and you see a couple tweets, that's it. You never went to any of the hackathons. You're not actually a builder. You're just a dude who likes to basically freeload, buying coins, contributing zero value to anything. Oh, Base is not coming back. You haven't contributed anything. It's like being a baby and crying that the dummy fell out of your mouth. Like, obviously, if you're a baby, you can't pick it up. But it's like, you know, like you just, like some things you just can't be complaining about. It's like you have to, like, Base will come back, but you're not contributing anything. So if you want to actually figure out what's happening, which would help you understand why Base is going to have a comeback, start looking into the ecosystem. If you were building on Base, you would understand, oh, this is actually a very solid ecosystem. It's just going in this pullback period. It's probably going to make a return. But because you're just buying coins with nothing else, not researching, which is what a lot of people do, they don't know what's happening. So that's what I would say. Like, Base is building. They're doing everything that they should be doing to make it come back. And if anyone is going to pull it off, it's Base. Or Solana. It's going to be Base or Solana. That's pretty much it. Okay. I still hold Toshi. Yes, I still hold some. What is the time frame for the next leg up? Targets. I don't think price targets is a good idea. Monad's cult. Monad has a decent community. However, there is a lot of people who pretend to be a part of the community who are just there to get the airdrop. But there is a decent level of community there. I can't, shit too much on them. They're actually doing quite a good job. They do have a very strong community. However, there is just a lot of people there just for an airdrop. And Monad doesn't really have a cult like you would call a cult coin 4 years ago. Like if you looked at Hex or Tron or Verge is a classic cult. These were real cults. This is a little bit different with Monad, but it's still very solid for what coins you have now. Can I see Bitcoin hitting below the 30K next bear market? Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Something I want to talk about as well is that a lot of people think that just because Bitcoin has an ETF, it can't have massive declines, which I think is silly. I think in the next bear market, Bitcoin could easily go down 60 to 80%. Let's find the tool. Where is the price decline? Why can I not find this? Here it is. So what would 80% be? Yeah, 60, 80. Like, I think Bitcoin could easily get in the next bear market. Obviously, the price will probably go higher. Let's say 100K. Yeah, like down into this blue region, like in a bear market, I could see it getting there. A lot of people think ETFs have like changed crypto forever. I don't think that's the case. I think that in a bear market, when people who have bought Bitcoin as the riskier part of their portfolio are looking for things to sell, they're looking to take less risk, they're going to sell the riskiest asset. And given Bitcoin's liquidity and given its history and given the the lack of any revenue-related metrics for valuing it. It's just simply an asset that tracks global liquidity and demand for risk. If we go into a massive risk-off period, I think it's just going to do exactly what it's always done. ETF can pump Bitcoin 50% in the space of a month, then I think the people selling could also dump it 50% in, I don't know, whatever the normal period of time is for Bitcoin. I think the volatility is the same in terms of the total fall and the total rise. I think it's going to be much the same. Trezor or Ledger? I have a Ledger, but honestly, like, doesn't really matter. You can use either one. NFT season, I'm not a fan of NFTs. Sweet. Okay. Some really smart people on Twitter like Sweet. I personally just don't get it. I don't get it. Why would it be good? I have some other ones that I want to tell you guys about other than Sweet, which I think will be really good. What was the mission of Pepe Floki Shib? Well, I mean, there wasn't many meme coins to buy, and Pepe is a internet meme which really has a lot of depth. Like, Pepe as a meme is like a classic internet meme. It's one of the strongest internet memes. And not every meme coin needs to necessarily have a cult like Hex, but it needs to have people behind the coin, the whales, who understand its value potential. What you guys actually need to understand, this is a lesson that I learned recently, actually. I'm going to tell you this lesson right now. There's this coin called Nero, and obviously you guys have probably seen this. It's Doge died, right, recently, and then the person who created basically the whole Doge meme, they've got a new dog, and the dog's called Nero. And so all these KOLs basically created a bunch of Nero coins, right? And they're all competing to be the number one Nero. And this one in particular was the winner, okay? It was on ETH, and I saw it here, and I got sent this coin by a friend. He gave me a full thesis about it. He said, Wintermute is the market maker. Some of the big KOLs on Twitter are behind it. This meme has massive potential because, imagine if it just gets like 5% of the Doge market cap. It's heavily underlooked by Twitter and all these different things. It was a really good thesis, and I was so close to buying it. I sent the coin to a friend, and I said, hey, what do you think about... I don't think I'm sharing my screen correctly. Let me fix that. All right. I was meant to be sharing this. So I showed this coin to a friend, like right here, and I asked him, what do you think of this coin? Because he's pretty connected on Twitter. I think he actually knows the KOLs. And he told me, yeah, the guys behind the project, they're just traders on Twitter. They're a bit GT. Like, they're not the type of people that are going to send this to like $1 billion coin, like $1 billion market cap. And I thought to myself, okay, so this guy knows the guy behind it, the team behind it, and he's not that confident on them. Okay, well, I'm going to avoid this, because one of the lessons that I've learned recently, and especially from this, is it doesn't matter how good the narrative is. It doesn't matter how good the coin is. If the team behind it who hold most of the supply are Jeets who can't see the broader vision, then you can't buy the coin. Doesn't matter how good the narrative is. And look what happened. It's just been going down only since the 25th of August. This price action is not natural. This is not organic price movement. This is artificial. This is the people who launched the coin selling everything, right? Because think about it. Most of these meme coins are ran by people because they have a massive vested interest in the success of that coin. All your favorite coins, they're probably mostly owned by a few people, and they run the project, right? No rich dude is going to take over a meme coin unless he has a massive vested interest in running the coin, right? It's not that... Maybe some of these community coins, they're examples of ones where a guy will run it, or a team, like the community will run it with like 1% of the supply each. But when a coin is like held by it's like a KOL coin or a Cabal coin, they own most of the coins. It's how it works. And so this is just the insiders dumping the coin down to zero. And look, the volumes come in and it's coming up from the bottom. Maybe things are changing, but the lesson was, like I said, Doesn't matter how good the narrative is, doesn't matter how good the coin seems or what it can achieve. If the people running it who have most of the supply, which they usually do, are selling massive amounts of it, doesn't matter. It's going to go down. It's not going to make you money. And this is especially true in the meme coin space, because in the meme coin space, there's no vesting. When you buy Solana, you can trust that the foundation behind Solana is not going to dump it to zero because they have coins vesting, right? They have maybe a 12-month cliff, and then they get a 10% unlock, and they have a 24-month vesting. So they don't even get all their coins for 3 years, right? In the meme coin space, you launch a coin, you can sell all of your coins immediately. And that's why you can't trust these KOLs. That's why you can't trust a bad whale. So I think one of the most important insights to have into a coin is who's behind it. If you can figure out who's behind it and then figure out, are they trustworthy, you can find out the potential of a coin. Let me give, and so the question that I got asked was, what was the mission of Pepe Floki Shib? It's not as relevant here, because what was relevant at the time was the people behind these coins were not Jeets, right? The people who hold the supply of Pepe are not Jeets. They understand what this coin's capable of. They could have sold everything that they had and dumped it to zero, right? Look at the supply centralization of any of these memes. The people who hold all the supply could have sold it all. They very easily could have. But the people behind it are smart. They know the bull market's not over. This coin can go to multiple billions. I'm not selling. And so in the case of something like Floki was really good in terms of its performance in the last bull run, or whenever it was, for a brief period of time, and then it's sort of been shit since. Hasn't really performed too well. It performed good recently, like a few months ago, but it's been sort of shit for a while. So I wouldn't even call like Floki a good example. Shib, same sort of thing. Does that make sense, guys? Let me know in the chat. Let me know if what I just explained made sense, and then we can continue. Raoul Paul, don't even know how to say his name, Raoul Pal, says not to use trading. What's my opinion? I agree. I think leverage is a tool reserved for 0.1% of people in the market. However, saying that, a lot of people have to lose money leverage trading to learn their lesson so that they avoid it forever. Some lessons must be learned by some people firsthand, right? You can't go for your whole life only learning through what other people have told you as the lesson that they've learned. Some lessons you got to learn yourself. So I can say to you, don't leverage trade. Some of you will not listen. You will go leverage trade, lose all your money, and then you will say, I wish I listened to Daniel. But no, that's not correct. You shouldn't have listened to me because you were going to leverage trade eventually. You had to put your hand in the fire and have your finger melt off before you were able to listen to that lesson. Some pain needs to be learnt firsthand so that you definitely avoid it. It's like some people have such an obsessive personality that they have to get obsessed with something so bad for them and survive it just so that they have the discipline from the memory of what happened prior so that they never get obsessed with the wrong thing again. Right. And it's only through that firsthand experience that they were able to gain that discipline. Right. Okay. Good to see that it makes sense. That's good. Now let's get rid of that before you start thinking I'm saying it's going to go down there. Maybe it will. Who knows? But all right, let's talk now about the coins that I'm interested in. Okay. Coin number one is the one that I'm most interested in. It is something that I've talked about a little bit recently. It is this coin. It's not out yet. However, it's a project which I'm really bullish on, and I'm going to tell you why. So, they put out an article recently, this one here, which I think all of you should read if you have 10 minutes of time. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but it basically explains consumer crypto, which is what I believe is going to be a big narrative going forward in the market. Consumer crypto basically refers to, as they put it here, the adoption of blockchain-powered applications that serves billions of people. So, for example, consumer crypto would be a wallet like Cash App, like a app, like a wallet like Cash App, where you can send money to all your friends, right? You can send money to your friends without needing a Ethereum address. You can just send it to like a person's sort of like sending it to like a Telegram name. And you can play games, you can interact in DeFi, and you can do all this different stuff from a wallet. And all your friends in the normie world use this wallet, sort of like Cash App, right? That is a wallet, that is an application that I would love to use. That sort of is an example of consumer crypto, just like an everyday banking app, but it's blockchain powered. It's connected into the crypto world. You could hold stable coins, you can lend. Maybe this sort of already exists, but it's not adopted at the consumer crypto level, right? It's not serving billions of people. Maybe like 500,000 are using this at the moment. And I think the reason why I'm so bullish on abstract is I read this and I realized these guys are focusing on what's actually going to get adoption, what's actually going to get mass adoption. So the first thing they do, and this is not a paid shill, by the way, I don't do paid shills. This is a real opinion. There's three phases. They got discretionary spending, necessary, and essential. Basically, what they're trying to say is that crypto will grow as it builds applications that serve different use cases. The use case that it's used for now is for discretionary spending. So it's gambling, fun, entertainment, blah, blah, blah. As crypto grows, it's going to have to expand into other forms of spending. So for example, necessary spending. So what do they define as necessary spending? Decentralized finance, so banking, storing money, lending, sending to friends, paying for different things from shops, so like bank cards, etc. And then there's the essential spending, so online banking, credit, tokenization, insurance. Now, a lot of you guys are investing into coins which are building these things, right? Tokenization, IoT, insurance. This is like 10 steps ahead of like where we are right now. This is not going to get adoption unless we can get the first step adopted, right? Until we have millions and millions of people using this, we're not going to have millions and millions of people using this. So if you invest too early into a sector, no team is going to be able to pull off what they're building because it's too early. It'd be like imagine trying to build a VR headset 20 years ago before everyone in the world was using phones and imagine 50 years ago trying to build a VR fucking system when not like half the world didn't use Wi-Fi. I don't know when Wi-Fi was invented, but that's sort of what I'm trying to explain, okay? That's like what's happening now. Most people in the world don't even use crypto. So how are you going to build an app, which is the essential spending part, which is the last part of adoption, when you haven't even got the first part? So what they've decided to do is they're going to build focusing first here, and then that, and then that. And to me, that makes a lot of sense. And the way that they view consumer crypto and all of this stuff, which is probably boring to you, is really good. Now, this is a really good point here too. Don't reinvent the wheel. Crypto builders try too hard to reinvent the wheel. There's consumer products today that could be bigger if you just added crypto into it. So instead of trying to invent a new paradigm, just take something that already works, change a couple things, and then make it better. And if you look at everything that has gotten a lot of adoption in crypto, it's not really stuff that's like groundbreaking and like changing the world. It's just something that already existed, adding a couple changes, and then it gets a lot of adoption. So for example, pump.fun is just making it easier for people to create coins. It's just making it a little bit easier. It's just taking it 1 or 2 steps forward, right? Friendtech is just social media with crypto integrated. Obviously, it hadn't been seen before, but it's just adding a couple steps. And I guess Friendtech is sort of reinventing the wheel, but you get the point that I'm trying to make here. And another thing that I like about this project is It's similar to the base thesis. So the base thesis is that Coinbase has millions of users. They're going to send them to base during an alt season. What does Abstract also have? Well, Abstract is made by Luca Netz, who runs Pudgy Penguins, which is the largest NFT collection in the world, which creates its own Pudgy physical toy, which has millions of customers. And they're building their own ecosystem and they got distribution to millions of people who basically buy this penguin stuff. And they're going to send all of these users to their chain and the apps that they build. So yeah, that's the first project that I like. Let me know if you guys understand what I just said. But yeah, this is the first coin that I'm interested in. And also, I feel like it's really overlooked. I don't see any KOLs that I've follow on my Twitter like really bullish on this. I don't think they get it. And I feel like you only get this project if you're a business owner, like someone that's really business oriented. A lot of these influencers are investors or just KOLs, but they're not actually business people. And I like to think of myself as a crypto guy, but also like a business guy. I like business. And I think the approach that Luca takes to building a chain is a very business focused approach. It's not a crypto native approach, it's a business approach, which I think is the correct approach that they've got. For example, in crypto, if you're a crypto guy, you probably think that like the tech is everything. It's all about the tech. It's all about who has the best, fastest transactions, the cheapest fees. In reality, it's actually about marketing, right? A business guy would say it's all about marketing. It's all about sales. It's all about getting attention. It's all about getting distribution. And if you look at what a lot of these layer ones talk about, they all talk about the tech because they're crypto people. They think that it's all tech, tech, tech. You know, we're building this privacy layer one with ZK snarks and all this bullshit, right? No one gives a fuck. The tech's built, the tech works. The tech is not that important anymore. And this is what Luca talks about in another article. He talks about how 95% of the technology for layer twos has already been built to the point where it doesn't need to be built more. And most of these layer twos share 95% of the same tech. It's just 5% that they try to iterate. So he just basically said, look, the tech's ready. We have the distribution. We're going to build our own chain and we're going to send all of our customers there. And we focus on getting distribution, getting attention, because the tech's basically ready. We just need to create an ecosystem of people who build apps on our chain because we have the distribution so we can make them, get them users. And that's good. And I like that approach. I think that's how you do it. I think 4 years ago, the tech wasn't ready. Like a lot of the tech, like a lot of the Ethereum, what's it called? Ethereum, what's the fucking term? EIP. Anyway, the protocol updates that make it cheaper, faster, easier to use Ethereum, they get pushed every 6 months. 4 years ago, there wasn't enough of those out. Okay? Now there's enough out where it's usable. Now, when's Abstract going to launch? I don't know. Probably end of year. So I would be looking to bid this whenever it comes out. You can also airdrop farm Abstract. I'm not going to talk about that because I don't want to cause any problems. I don't want to affect anything, but you can farm this. Now, just to let you guys know, when I decide to buy this coin, when the airdrop farming operation, everything that I do in relation to investing, it's all inside of my mastermind if you guys would like to join. If you would like to just be told when I'm buying this coin. Or you can do it yourself when the coin comes out, or I can just tell you how to do it. All the information is on this site for anyone that's interested. I'll link it. Anyway, I'll keep that up in case anyone wants to search it. But what I also want to talk about is the next coin, which is Hyperliquid. This one's a very good coin. It's not out yet. There's one problem with this project. It has a lot of farmers farming it. And I think with any coin that's heavily farmed, when it comes out, it's going to struggle in terms of its performance for maybe the short to midterm, because there's a lot of people who need to get out. Also, with the market we're in right now, if this launches like in a month or two, it's probably going to perform a bit poorly at the start. But I think the team behind this, the community is really, really strong. I think they've proven that they are innovators in the space. And I think being able to just build something just one step better than everyone else and keep doing that and adapting to where the market is moving is the key. I think a lot of the more OG crypto guys are really bullish on this project, which is a good sign. It has really good distribution of attention in its community amongst the KOLs that don't do paid shills. What I mean by that is a lot of the people that talk about this coin, you can't pay them to talk about your coin. So whenever this thing does launch, whenever it does perform well, you're going to have tons of people on Twitter tweeting about it, basically. It's going to be a coin that has mind share, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Besides that, I'm not like researching it a ton, but I think this would be a good coin to look to accumulate. Now, there's one more that I'm going to talk about, but let's get to some questions first. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the chat, basically. But yeah, just to let you know, Abstract probably launching end of year. Hyperliquid, no idea. That was a little rhyme. What was the other one? There was a third one. I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, Monad, obviously. Monad is the other one that I'm excited about. But I mean, I've talked about Monad a bunch, so I'm sure you guys already know why Monad is good. Okay. Do I have a Bitcoin cycle top in mind, time-wise, you prepare for, or just go with the flow and sell when you spot a top? So, something that I'm building at the moment is a custom platform similar to Glassnode that hosts all the best data and metrics and indicators and algorithms within crypto for understanding where we are in the market and where we might be near a bottom, where we might be near a top. With my team, we've created one of the most accurate, forward-tested algorithms for buying low and selling high in the entire market. But we are expanding beyond this. And the tool that I'm talking about is this tool right here. I'm going to put it on the right time frame. I'm sure you guys have seen this a bunch, but this is all forward-tested signals from the algorithm. So we're going to have this plus every other data set that we look at, which we basically use to basically decide where to buy and sell. For example, not this one. It's not working. For example, is it this one? Yeah, this one's good. So for example, there's tons of algorithms and I don't have them on TradingView because the data isn't here. It doesn't, you can't code PineScript with a lot of these tools. But here's one as an example. It basically I'm pretty sure this one measures liquidations. So whenever you get a lot of liquidations, usually that's a sign of a bottom. You can see here, every time we had lots of liquidations, it was a time to buy. And there's a number of other tools we're going to add onto this platform. I wish I had them in front of me to show you. But I'm mentioning this to answer the question about how do I time when to sell. The way that I time when to sell is I have an overview of the entire market, of all the different sectors, what the derivatives market's doing, what the options market's doing, what the spot market is doing, what macro's doing. It's all going to be on this platform launching soon. And we're going to be using this algorithm plus all the data that we have to determine when we are in what I would call the final eighth of a bull run. So, and this is talked about in some of the best investing books. What you want to do is you want to buy during the first. You don't want to buy during the first eighth, and you don't want to sell during the last eighth, because that first eighth and the last eighth is the most difficult parts of the market to predict, and it's where most people lose their money. So, for example, this is obviously a shit rough drawing, but you're going to get the idea. Okay. So, what you want to do is you want to capture this middle period. You want to be buying here and then selling here. You don't care about the last bit. You don't care about the first bit. So, the tools that I have on this platform, the number one goal is to identify when are we entering or about to enter this final eighth of the bull run. And that's where you're going to be looking to begin taking profits. Okay. Now, obviously, Bitcoin is probably going to go first, and then we're going to have 2 months of action in other coins, right? Which are lagging Bitcoin, because that's usually what happens. But as a general rule of thumb, when we enter that final eighth, that's when you guys have got to start paying attention. Okay. And this is why most people are losing money in crypto. They try to time a bottom and they try to time a top. When's the Bitcoin top? You don't need to know when the top is. You just need to know, when are we entering that final eighth? How do you define the final eighth? Well, when you have all the data like I do, you just add it all onto the custom platform, check it every day, and you'll know. It'll be pretty obvious, right? For example, one tool that can help you identify what are we in the first eighth or the final eighth is looking at the unrealized profit and loss of holders of Bitcoin. There was one. Fuck. Glassnode's gay. You have to pay money. Fuck Glassnode. There was one that was free. Here we go. This one works. Here's a decent tool for identifying where we are in the market. The final eighth and the last eighth. So anything in the green and anything in the second half of this yellow. I mean, you could have started selling here, which we did on meme positions. Probably should have sold more, but it's still like that's about to enter the final eighth. Okay. And so that's another thing that I don't like about Glassnode, actually, that our platform does better, is that on Glassnode, hang on, it was this one here. You open the tool and there's like a billion fucking algorithm. There's like a billion fucking data sets. And I look at this and I'm like, most of this is dog shit. Like, no one cares about minor fundamentals. No one, like, this stuff doesn't, like, a lot of this stuff doesn't make you money. And it's not, you don't need to look at it. Right? So what I'm going to do is on the platform is just only real data, only data that helps you make money, and forget the rest, basically. We might have like 30 different tools on this platform. So yeah, that's the goal. Okay, what do I think ETH's going to do? Honestly, how do you figure out the farming operation for abstract? Well, I got a guy who does it for me, and that's all I can really say. What do I think ETH is likely to do in the next 3 months? I think ETH's a bit cucked. I think ETH's fucked. I think that I can't see, like, maybe brief periods of underperformance or just doing the same as Bitcoin, but I don't see this outperforming Solana. It's hard to explain. I haven't fully cemented my thoughts. Like, I have, when you have like an idea of something, but it hasn't fully formed, that's sort of like me with ETH. Like, I think maybe at the end of the bull run, it'll do like an outperformance catch up, but I'm not like thinking this is going to outperform like a lot of the market. I think it obviously doesn't go down as much as a lot of the riskier coins, but I don't think it's going to go up that much either. So If you hold ETH, probably better to hold Bitcoin or Solana. I actually saw some good data recently on Solana that showed that as soon as the what's the fucking platform called where the meme coins launch? Pump.fun. As soon as pump.fun got used a lot, Solana topped. And it started underperforming. It was so interesting. I'm going to try to find this to show you guys. And I'm going to use this as a lesson to explain something to you guys. If anyone has that link, let me know. It was just comparing Pump Fun coin launches to Solana performance. Okay, got it. Cool. So you can see here that Solana was outperforming with minimal Pump Fun usage. And then as soon as Pump Fun goes crazy, Solana's not, making new highs. Now, what was this caused by? It was caused by a couple of different things. Number one, fragmentation, like this guy says here. When meme coins became very popular, people swapped Solana for meme coins, right? And so when someone swaps Solana to a meme coin, someone went from a meme coin to Solana. The person who went from meme coin to Solana is likely the guy who behind the project, right? It's largely the people behind the project. Those people are probably sitting on massive profits. They're probably going to realize them and start buying Lamborghinis. So that's the problem with fragmentation. Money starts moving around. Solana to meme coin is fine, but meme coin to Solana, on the opposite side of that same transaction, is the guy launching the meme coin selling to buy a Lamborghini. That's a problem with it. So you started having more sell pressure as you had more people swapping to Solana who were sitting on massive meme profits who are probably going to sell them, right? You also had the Bitcoin top, which Solana obviously couldn't have helped happen. And also, this just shows that meme coins are popular after Bitcoin rallies, right? So when Bitcoin hits its top, you got maybe a 2-month period of outperformance. So for example, right, when did Bitcoin hit its top? Let's have a look. 13th of March. When did meme coins start going crazy? Around the same time. So as soon as Bitcoin hit its top, meme coins started going crazy. How long were meme coins super profitable for? Probably a few months, right? Probably till May, June. So you had a few months of where meme coins were popping. Lately, it hasn't. There's been obviously lots of meme coin launches, but each day it's gotten harder and harder. It's not easy mode anymore. So that gives you an idea of like Bitcoin top and then time frame of how long you can basically be playing in the meme coin casino on easy mode for. Okay. Something else I wanted to show you guys is this tool. This is also going to be on our platform. This is showing you the active bids on Binance for the BTC USDT ticker, which is really useful because it's accurate, it's real data, and it shows you what the market's actually doing. So the problem with using Twitter for sentiment is that when you go on Twitter and everyone's scared, that's when the bottom is. If you look at this tool here and you see that when everyone's bullish at the top, there's actually a lot of people trying to sell, it shows you what the market's actually showing you and what the market's actually doing, right? One way to spot a bottom is when all the whales start accumulating. You start seeing the bids layer up. You start seeing whale holdings increase. But you go on Twitter at the bottom and everyone's shitting themselves. So it's like, you got to be careful using Twitter because the herd sentiment will get to you. But if you use tools like this, it shows you what the market for what it really is. And this also shows you why Bitcoin can't break the all-time high. There's just so much sell pressure. Look at the color of the wall whenever it gets to the 70K level, and look at how much volume, how big those asks are, how big the sell orders are. It's pretty much, the top level, right? This is happening every time Bitcoin goes back up. What this shows you is that people don't want the price to go above 70K, but also whenever Bitcoin does go above 70K, that big sell wall is now going to be buyers, right? All those people who sold are now going to have to chase price higher. And also, once that level breaks, it becomes support. A strong resistance will become a strong support. Think about how many taps we had. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Obviously, it's sort of going down, but that rough region is going to become support. How long have we been going like this for? 6 months, basically. Let's go on the weekly. Have a look at it. Let's get rid of all the mess and the indicators. So you wonder why Bitcoin can't make all-time highs. Well, that data shows you why. There's just too many people trying to sell to stop it from going to new all-time highs, right? Pretty simple stuff. And so how will you identify a top? Well, if you use that data and you see that we hit a level up here, right? And there's this massive sell wall, that's going to help you in confluence with identifying where you should be selling. Okay? Okay, I'm just reading through your questions, guys. Let's make you reach your goals. I pretty much hit all my goals, man, to be honest. What are you saying? Let's say I reach my goals. What am I going to do? Okay. My goal when I get to 8 figures is to put a lot of it into probably just the S&P 500, I think. I think when you look at investing, regardless of if you're a business owner who wants to invest or an investor who's looking to go into a different market, you have to think about where do you have an edge. And when I think about my edge in the market, it's in risk assets. And also in tools that can identify when the market is near a bottom and when the market is near a top. That's what my tools are good for. Mostly for crypto, but also for stocks. Because identifying a bottom in crypto and identifying a bottom in the stock market is honestly a pretty similar thing. They're both risk assets. One's just more volatile and they're driven by slightly different things at different times. But if you overlay the S&P 500 with the crypto market or Bitcoin, you'll see that it does a lot of the same thing. You can see that it hit a bottom here. Oop. This was the lowest price, which was basically the crypto bottom. Crashed during the COVID crash. Right, the bottom here. Oop. The stock bottom was also the crypto bottom here. Right? They're semi-correlated. So if I'm trying to make money out of crypto and I'm trying to make money where I have an edge, the stock market is very similar to the crypto market. I think that's where I have the biggest edge. So I'm not going to be doing much real estate or bonds or gold or things like that. I'm going to be doing stocks. I think that's a good way to reduce risk, but also still invest with an edge. Okay. I also think that America has proven itself as the home of innovation, and the industries that are seeing the most growth are those in new booming sectors, right? The stocks that are performing the best are the ones that tap into the latest narratives. And America is the leader of building shit in the latest narratives. For example, NVIDIA, highest valued company in the world. Why are they pumping? Because they are tapping into the AI narrative. NVIDIA is a US incorporated company, right? And it's in the S&P 500. So if I want to get exposure to the companies which are best fitting into the narratives which are driving the price higher, I want to be an investor into the US stock market. I don't want to. Why would I invest into Japan if they're not leading in the latest narratives? Right? I don't think Japan has broken its all-time high in its main stock index, as far as I'm aware. I don't even know which one it is, but anyway, you get the idea. I think if you were to draw this, it went like this. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to do. Coinbase stock. I mean, look, the issue with Coinbase is it's like 100% correlated with crypto. So you're not even really you're taking the same risk for the same upside, and you don't even get self custody, and you're probably paying crazy fees to buy and sell it. Like, look, like, um, is that correct? Yeah, that's correct. See, look, they're like the same thing, like exact same price movement. I think um, coin is actually maybe even semi more volatile, right? Coinbase is down 45%. The total crypto market is down. No, that can't be right. Let me look at that again. Yeah. So total crypto market down 30%. Coinbase is down 43%. Coinbase is more volatile. So it's like, I'm probably not going to buy Coinbase if I'm trying to get less volatility in my portfolio by going into stocks. Probably not going to do that. Okay, any more questions? I might answer one or two more questions and then I'll call it a wrap. Will there be hype around cats in the current cycle? There already is. Probably will continue to be. Am I looking at AI coins? Not really. I think Nvidia's probably hit its top, to be honest. I saw a tweet on Twitter. It was really good, actually, showing how this was like a classic complacency shoulder into a top. And I mean, like, we'll see what happens. But if that's the case, I can't see AI outperforming. Unless, I guess, actually AI is separate from Nvidia, where there could be a new AI innovation which kicks off a new AI movement in AI coins. If they can pivot to this new AI direction, I'm not sure what that would be, but I'm sure there's more crazy innovative applications of AI which we just haven't even considered yet. But we'll see. I can't predict that. Pulse chain, it's shit. Richard Hart, no, the whole thing is shit. I would avoid it. Has becoming a millionaire brought more joy to your life? I would say yes. Yeah, definitely. I think that it gives you the ability to do whatever you want. So you spend less time doing things you don't want to do. And I'm most unhappy doing things I don't want to do. So if I just don't do things that I don't want to do, then and I'm just doing stuff I want to do, then by default I'm just experiencing more joy. For example, if I don't want to clean my apartment, I hate doing that. I'll just pay for a cleaner. If I don't want to fly an economy, I don't have to. If I don't want to pay taxes, I don't have to. If I don't want to do accounting, I don't have to. Anything I don't want to do, I don't have to do anymore, which is really cool because that brings you more joy. So yeah, I would say yes, but it doesn't fix all your problems, but it fixes a lot of them. Who's valuable to follow on Twitter? Okay, let's go through my Twitter list. I'll tell you who's good and who I probably should unfollow. Okay, obviously follow Abstract. Keep up to date. Join their Discord. Keown, he has a lot of good lessons about basically building a community because he runs Monad. This guy's got some good insights. Erebos, friend of mine. Prince, he made like millions of dollars on Ondo. Follow him. This guy here, Erebos. Who else is good? I haven't really followed many new accounts recently. Crash is good, obviously. Who else is good? I need to follow more new crypto accounts. I'm slacking off. This guy, I love this guy, Chris. He is super, super smart. One of the most accurate macro bottom top callers in crypto. Definitely need to follow him. Also, one of my favorite follows on Twitter is Bob Lucas. You guys should all follow him too. Now let's see what else we got. Can you live off 500K a year with interest rates? Yeah, if you're in fucking India or if you're in Australia and you don't want to live a great quality of life, yeah, you could. You could, but you should always aim better for yourself. I think you should always aim higher. You should always set big goals, have a big mission, and believe you can achieve whatever you set your mind to. I think that's really important. I think people ask these questions like, can't you live off 750K a year with interest rates? But yeah, you could live a midlife, but I want to spend 30K a month without worrying about it on whatever I want to, because I can, and that's what I'm capable of. So I would rather aim for whatever I think I believe I could achieve anything. So I'd rather aim for something better than living off fucking interest rates. That's like getting ready to die. That's like retiring. Like, nah, fuck that. Who do I look up to in crypto and in business? I would say crypto, definitely Bob Lucas. Business, I think the stuff Iman's doing is good. I don't really have anyone at the moment, to be honest. Let me see if there's any other questions. Well, I'll answer a couple more because we're on a bit of a rant, on a bit of a streak. Not many questions, to be honest. How many people are here? 1,000 viewers? No, it can't be right. There's no way there's 1,000 viewers on Twitter. It's not real. All right. PopCat on my radar. Not really. Favorite philosophy or mind-related books? I honestly have never read a philosophy book. Never really read a mind book. I don't really read books at all. I read one book recently, but it was sort of not really. It was like I read it in like a day. It was like a little book. I don't really read like proper books. How is my portfolio allocation? I mean, I share that in my mastermind if anyone's interested in joining. That's where I talk about my portfolio. I'm not going to talk about that publicly, like what I own and different things, because I think I'd rather reserve that for the group. But if you want to, it's just there. Do I think the pendulum will swing back to a lot of utility coins? Okay, that's a good question. Let's talk about this. So, back in the day, layer ones used to be the shit, right? Let's draw layer one. This was like all the talk. And then we've moved to memes. Let's draw a smiley face. Memes, right? This is like the movement. A lot of people think we're going to have a movement back to layer ones or utility coins. I think this could happen for one main reason, but there's no guarantee that this reason happens. So a lot of these protocols are making millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. For example, Rollbit apparently is making hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue, right? Crypto, in terms of where this revenue is coming from, if we refer back to the article by Abstract, the revenue is coming from sources that are, what was the word that they used? Let me find it. Every single crypto project that has revenue is getting revenue from discretionary spending. Now, discretionary spending is volatile spending. People spend on fun and entertainment and things they don't need to buy when they have money. People don't have money all the time. When we're in a recession, not many people are gambling. Like, one of the best ways to tell when you're in a recession is to ask how much strippers make. Are they getting many clients? How many people are coming into the brothel? Because that's discretionary spending. And it's the same thing for crypto. Strippers, gambling, fun, entertainment, all in the same bucket of a volatile, source of revenue which is dependent upon the macro economy and how much money people have. So, a utility coin is a coin that has a reason for existing, and it's also probably a coin that's going to have the revenue go back into buying it, right? You hold the coin, and then any revenue made by this protocol, some of it's given back to the holders of the coin, right? Maybe it's buybacks, maybe the balance in your wallet increases. But these utility coins are volatile because the source of revenue is volatile. For example, let's look at Solana fees. Solana total fees daily. See if we can find this. No, I do not want to connect my wallet. Okay. Imagine if Google's revenue looked like this, where in October last year, it's around 2K, right? Solana a day, going up to 24K Solana in a day in 6 months later. And then 6 months later again, it's back down to 6K. This would be one of the most volatile stocks in the world if this was the revenue of, now this is obviously just fees, but like what I'm trying to conceptualize for you guys is discretionary spending revenue sources are extremely volatile, and they're not really good investments because it's like unsustainable, unpredictable, volatile revenue. If we get into a future where we have two things, one being the revenue comes from necessary or essential spending, which is more sustainable and consistent, and we get into a regulatory environment where crypto protocols can legally distribute revenue back to its holders, that is when we're going to have a return to utility coins. So let me write this down on a Miro. Where can I write this down? Let's log into Miro. Okay, let's make a new slide so I can write this down. So for utility coins to make a return, we need, in my opinion, could be wrong, essential and necessary revenue spending adoption applications with sustainable revenue. Okay. And then number 2 would be regulatory clarity or regulatory acceptance of protocols to distribute profits back to holders of their tokens. I think if you get these two things, you're going to get a bull run in utility tokens, because think about the narrative, right? Imagine being able to invest in Visa when it first launched, right? Where the token is like the equivalent of buying a Visa stock that entitles you to the revenue of the protocol, which actually they give you way more than Visa gives to its shareholders in the form of dividends. And it's done in a crypto native way where it's in a new booming industry, which might even grow beyond Visa because their ability to take fees maybe is more. Maybe the fee they take is higher. For example, Friendtech, the fee was ridiculous. It's like 5% or something. Visa can never charge that. And so maybe the revenue could go far beyond Visa, right? Imagine like the narrative that could form when protocols build apps that appeal to sustainable and also larger sources of revenue, competing with industry giants in the traditional world. And from a regulatory perspective, there's no issues with you holding a token and receiving dividends back or revenue back or buybacks, whatever it is, right? Because like it's just a regulatory shit show with projects trying to give back to the holders of the token. And that's what's going to, in my opinion, bring back utility tokens, okay? Because this meme thing is not going to go on forever. But how long is this going to take? This is going to take years. This is like a 3 to 5 year journey. Okay. So let me know in the chat if that made sense, guys. I think that was the most valuable part of this whole video. Do you understand what I'm trying to say with utility coins? To the moon 806, welcome. How long is the delay of my talking? It must be a fat delay. Let me know if that made sense, guys. I think it's like a 10-second delay. 20-second. Jesus, that's a long delay. Cool. All right, that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover. There's one more thing I wanted to go over. To any of you watching this, most of you are probably not aware, but I do run a community focused on basically what we talked about here, but every day. And I also tell you everything that I'm doing. So in this YouTube video, obviously we talked about coins that I liked, trends that are going to be popular, how to invest properly. But if you want to know like exactly what I'm buying, when I'm buying it, how much I'm buying, when I'm selling, get access to all the algorithms and everything that I use, talk to me on a day-to-day basis, get access to basically follow everything that I'm doing to make millions from crypto, you can join my community here if anyone interested. There's just a website there. Anyone has questions, you can DM me on Twitter or Telegram, probably Twitter if you want, because this is my Twitter account here, with any questions. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. If you like the live stream, let me know. I can always do another one in the future. I haven't done a live stream like this in a long time, so I can always do more. So yeah, thank you guys for listening. Maybe see you in the next one.